Welcome to the Video Creators Podcast. We help YouTube creators grow their audience and business with next-level tactics and strategies. Want to accelerate your channel's momentum, be more profitable, and change the lives of more people than ever before? You're in the right place. The Video Creators team has over a decade of experience providing YouTube strategy for brands like Disney, Warner Brothers, HBO, and even YouTube themselves. So far, our team is responsible for helping clients generate over 17 billion views on YouTube. And now, to help you, here's Tim, Lennon, and Delana.
Hello, creators. How are you guys? It's great to hang out with you again for another Video Creators podcast episode where every week we are here to help you grow your YouTube audience, get more views, more subscribers, grow the business that is around your channel so that you can reach more people and change their lives with the message that you're spreading. Lennon is not here, but Delana and I are here. And it's been a while, Delana, since both of us have been here together.
I know.
So I'm excited to dive in. We get to talk about it because we've been doing solo episodes for the past several weeks with some stuff I was doing and some stuff you were doing. So, but anyway, what we want to talk with you guys about today before Delana and I dive in is you guys have submitted a whole bunch of audio voice messages for us, which we love when you do that. You're asking us questions. You're giving pushback on some of the things that we've said in previous episodes, which I love, and we'll highlight some of those here today as well. But in the show notes of this episode, there is a link. The short version is speakpipe.com/video creators. And you can leave us a quick voicemail message for us to use in an upcoming episode like we're going to do here today. We're going to talk about what is the ideal video length for a video. Should it be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I keep hearing all these things. What's the right length? We talk about, should I use video chapters in my videos or not? Because I think I've heard that if I use video chapters, that impacts the viewing session and it could eliminate the amount of watch time and that I would be getting on that video. Or and some other things about Delana, you said I should not ask for subscribers, but, and then he gives a situation where he thinks you might be wrong, Delana, which I love. So this is, I'm looking forward to hopping into this.
Change my mind, guys.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to diving into this. I said hopping in, but we're not going to hop in or dive in really. I'm looking forward to talking with you guys about this here today. So you have questions for future episodes, use that link in the show notes and we'll be very happy to answer them in an upcoming episode for you here. Before we dive into everything though, Delana, it's been a while since we've done an episode together. How have you been?
Good. Yeah. I'm excited that it's March because it's my birthday month. And Sam and I, my husband, we combined offices. So this is a new little office you guys are seeing. I don't remember if if you guys have already seen it, if you've been watching the podcast on YouTube, if you've already seen it. But yeah, my husband and I, so you may see some things like this little speaker, whatever it's called. And then we've got this thing called an apprehension engine right here because my husband is a audio engineer and he makes music for video games. So my backgrounds might get more interesting from here on out.
So you bought this house because remember you talked with us about that was it a year or two ago? And when you bought it, you're like, we get to have our own offices and our own space. And now you're like, never mind. So what was the reasoning for combining offices?
We had been talking about it for a while. And it's just kind of like one of those things where when you both work from home for so long, it is nice to have your own space, but our house is big enough that we can still have our own space. And we were like, it's really when I'm working on client reports for hours on end, it's you start to just feel really demotivating just being alone in your office all the time. And so then we decided, let's just combine offices. He started coming into my office more often, and we were like, okay, it's just time.
It's just fun to have someone to throw erasers at and,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. Well, a lot of you guys don't know this. If you follow me on Instagram, my personal account, Tim Schmoyer, you've seen this, but I took off for a month from video creators. And by taking off, I mean, like, I pretty much disconnected. I left Elena in charge and I was like, see ya. Not quite that way, but we've been really excited about the impact of an app called Volley and the impact it's been having on our business and helping us scale our coaching programs and our group coaching stuff and our client relationships and everything. And Volley's like, hey, could you come help us with, develop this app a little bit better, give us ideas, give us feedback, help us think through some things and maybe do some influencer outreach and things like that for a month. And I said, sure. So I left Video Creators and went and worked for another company as a contractor, not as an employee, for a month. And it was really insightful. I gained a lot of clarity. I've only worked in this company for like 9 years. So it was good for me to see how, only. I don't have too much other context other than a few other jobs before that. So it was good to get inside of another business again, see how they run, how they operate, building relationships, see what their decision-making processes are like and things. So it was really, really good. And coming back to Video Creators energized and ready to dive into some stuff with some new energy and take this thing to the next level. So thanks for having me back, Elena.
Yeah, I guess we'll let you come back. Yeah, I guess it's fine. It was so funny whenever he brought it to us, to like the team, to say like, hey guys, I think I'm going to step away for this project for a while. You were really nervous that it was going to impact team morale, was what you said. And we were all just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, we don't care. No, you should care more. Don't go, Tim. Don't go. There was none of that. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. I'm leaving then.
Which I feel like probably, for you did have kind of like its ups and downs where it's like, oh, okay, cool. My team is self-sufficient. But then it's like, wait a second.
For this week's Creator Spotlight, I want to introduce you to Carolyn Beck of her YouTube channel, Mediterranean Minutes. There's a link to it in the show notes here. I'm really excited to introduce you to this channel because she was a Video Lab student last year. And when she started about last September, she had around 50 subscribers or so on her channel, and she was working really hard. I knew she was like gonna make it because she was like, she's asking all these questions, she's following the process, she's digging in, and after going through the 8-week process, our process in Video Labs, where it's like a group coaching program, you're working with our strategists and going through this training and doing all these assignments on your channel. At the end of that, she got to this place where she was like, okay, I see what I need to do here. All these things I didn't even know I should be thinking about, questions I didn't even know I should be asking. And she is one of those people like, I'm going to own this process. I'm going to work it. I'm going to do it. And it took her a few months to start developing the skills that we teach you in Video Labs. We're not going to teach you like light switch moments of like, oh, just do this one thing and boom, it grows. It's like, okay, I see how it works now, but I got to develop some skills and that takes some time. She put in the work, developed the skills. And then she went from about 100 something subscribers at the beginning of this year to now today she has in February 7,200 subscribers. And what's happened is it even brought YouTube themselves saw her channel and they're like, oh my gosh, this is growing so amazing. And they made her, as of today, this recording, she is YouTube's Creator on the Rise, right in front, right on the trending page of YouTube is her channel and a lot of her recent videos. And she emailed me today just to say, and this is what she said, I'm just quoting it, I wanted to send you a note right away to thank you for all the incredible education you provided in our class last year. Obviously, I retained some of it. Today, YouTube is featuring me as their Creator on the Rise, and I couldn't have done it without your guidance. And I'm like, oh, so I wrote her back and was like, Carolyn, thank you. You're the one who did the hard work. We just kind of pointed you in the right direction and said, here's what you need to do. Here's how you need to do it in the order you need to do it in order to start seeing traction. And man, she's seeing traction now, 7,200 subscribers in a few months and a very positive trajectory now. So we're excited for Carolyn. Hopefully I'll get her on to do an interview here, but it was a timely one as she is now Creator on the Rise for YouTube today. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, link to her channel down in the show notes. If you want to, when I hear stories like this, I like to go back and look at the old older videos and compare them with the newer videos to see what changed from when they were getting these results on her channel, on the channel, from when they're now getting these results on the channel, and look for the patterns that exist in the content. And I think you'll see a lot of really helpful information from Carolyn's channel as you go do that comparison. So go check her out. Link down in the show notes of this episode, and you can tell her we said hi if you want, but mostly just pay attention to what she's doing to get this much traction now that she's unlocked some of these skills for herself. And if you would like to do video labs, we've got an exciting new announcement that I don't think we've talked about here yet, Delana. We have worked really hard on making video labs more accessible. And what we were hearing from a lot of people was that like, hey, I want to do this, but the weekly meetings don't align with my schedule or my time zone. I want to do this, but like you're already sold out. It's only limited to 20 creators, and now I can't get in. And so we removed those barriers, and now we have a new process. But the material is still all the same. But the thing that was limiting it were these weekly Zoom calls. So we removed these weekly Zoom calls, and instead now are giving you direct video chat access to one of the strategists on our team, Luke. He is there in there Monday through Friday, available to talk through normal business hours. So all you have to do is like you're working through the material, you're doing the assignments, you have a question or you want to get feedback, you can go into the app that I introduced in the beginning called Volley. And you can just start a video chat with the people who are there and with Luke. And it doesn't matter what your time zone or your schedule is like anymore. And you can work through it at your own pace because life happens and everyone's got to work through it at different paces. So it's just, we're really proud of it. We've already beta tested it and have actually launched it already with several dozen creators. And the results have been amazing, because people are now getting even better attention than ever before, having someone like Luke just there to give feedback and give ideas and push you in the right direction and coach you like, hey, okay, you're kind of doing it right, but not quite. Show it this way instead. And not just being like, here's some good information. Good luck. Hope it helps. But here's some good information. It's been tested and proven thousands of times. And I'm here to work with you through it. So it's awesome. You guys can go check it out. Go to videocreators.com/videolabs and register today to start diving into that process. And if you sign up here soon, not even here soon, but like for the ongoing in the future, we're also including 30 days to better YouTube channel in that process as well. So you get that course for free along with your purchase, which is our foundational level course. So videocreators.com/videolabs is where it's at. And we look forward to seeing you there. All right, Delana, ready for some questions?
I don't know.
You're ready. Here's the first one.
Hey, everyone. So I just have a question around content length. So I've heard various rumors that YouTube prefers longer videos. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just curious on your thoughts of it. I myself enjoy making 2 to 5 minute videos, but I'm just curious if it's worth me trying to make longer videos. Thanks.
So people are telling him make longer videos. YouTube's algorithm prefers that. And if he's like, I like doing the 2 to 3 minute videos, but should he cave and do 10-minute videos?
It really depends. Well, I know everybody loves that answer. It depends.
I know.
But it does depend on the human connection that you are able to build within that 2 to 3 minutes. If you're able to do it well, then yes, 2 to 3 minutes is totally fine. If you cannot fit good human connection within the 2 to 3 minutes and you need more time, then you should have longer videos. But a good way to kind of gauge all of that is how long are you actually holding their attention? Are you holding them for the full 2 to 3 minutes? Then great. Why do we need to upload more? I mean, you could push it and see like, does your audience like the longer content? Like you could test a few more and see if they respond to it and see if those videos go any further. Cause it's totally dependent on not YouTube's preferences, if you will, quote unquote.
Right.
It's the people's preferences. We the people.
YouTube's just going to look at how well do people engage with this content, and they don't care if it's 10 minutes or 2 minutes. They're just looking at like, it could be a half hour long, but if people only watch for 2 minutes, I mean, it
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. We usually answer this question by saying, if you have a 2-minute idea, do a 2-minute video. If you have a 10-minute idea, do a 10-minute video. The better question, I think, is not really how long should my video be, but I think it really comes down to how skilled are you at holding someone's attention?
Yeah.
Because some people are really skilled at this, and you'll pay money to go sit in a dark room and watch a 2.5-hour video on a screen, right? That's how good they are. And so it's not really about the length of the video. It's about that, coming back to what we were talking about in Video Labs. One of the skills you need to learn is how do you make a quick emotional connection with people so that they want to stick around and they're like, oh, I love this person. I want to watch more. That's that emotional reaction. That's what gets you more watch time. That's what makes people more likely to subscribe. They come back for more and watch more, which will then put you on the homepage for them and get even more traction. So it's really less about the length of the video. And YouTube's more, they're not looking at viewer signals, which is what do people, how do they react to this content? So I'd focus on that. You said something really important in there, Delana, which I want to ask you to expand upon, is like, you're like, it depends on how quickly you can make a human connection.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas or tips for people who are like, well, what does that mean? And how do I do that in 2 to 3 minutes?
I think that there's a couple of ways. One of them is storytelling. If you educate yourself on more storytelling and particularly if there's an opportunity to tell more of your story, then that's a great way to connect with people. You can also focus more on their pain points in terms of, like, if you're an educator, kind of opening up with what are they dealing with and what are they thinking about whenever they click on this problem that they're trying to solve, like what are all the thoughts and the feelings that they're having, so that way, whenever you say everything that they're thinking, whether they know that they're thinking it or not, it gives them this human reaction of like, oh my gosh, yes, this person knows exactly what I'm feeling and think they have the answer. Your information could be exactly the same as, the 100 other professionals that are out there. But once you say exactly what this person is thinking and feeling, they all of a sudden trust you more because they feel like you deeply understand exactly what they need, and thus you can better solve their problem because of it. So if you're an educator, you can do something as simple as that, is just kind of opening the video with their problem. If you are like a vlog channel, then bringing those people more into your personal story and your personal journey throughout the days or the years and everything in between, your background, I think it all comes down to like keeping their experience in mind and how closely you can connect with them with what they're at, where they're at, and or why they're coming to your video in the first place. So I think storytelling is a great way to do that. Another thing that you might want to learn about if you don't know anything about is primal branding elements. It is a book by Patrick Hanlon and is something that we teach all of the creators that we work with. We go over the primal branding elements, and it's basically like these 7 elements. They break it down into 7 elements of like, what are the things that make these brands stand the test of time? And they're just are forever on top, like Google and Nike, Apple, things like that. And it all comes down to our primal nature and how we respond to things as humans. Comes down to belief systems, creation stories, language that we use, and stuff like that. So that's also something that I would educate yourself on. There's tons of videos on there. We've made videos on it, but that's a great quick way for human connection.
And both primal branding and storytelling are big parts of 30 Days to Better YouTube channel and Video Labs as well. So in fact, it's 3 weeks of the 8 weeks inside of Video Labs are how do you, as an educator, as a teacher, people who are like, well, I'm just making spreadsheet tutorials. How do you turn that into a story? Or I talk about taxes. How do you turn that into a story or whatever?
Do you know how much emotion is behind people doing their taxes?
I don't have any emotion behind spreadsheets, I'll be honest. Unless, no, wait, that's not true actually. Because my CPA made me a profitability, what did she call it? Not profitability, spreadsheet, but
PL something or something.
P&L, no, not the P&L. Basically, yeah, for us to, I forget, I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, I was looking like, oh my gosh, like I'm so glad people like you exist. This is amazing because I would never be able to even think in a way that put something like this together. So it was really good. So even there, yeah, there can be emotion behind even spreadsheets. But yeah, so in Video Labs, we'll help pull that out of you, give lots of examples and teach you how to do it and work with you as you do it. Let's go to another question here about video chapters.
Hello, video creators team. This is Dusty Dolan. I am curious to see what your thoughts are regarding chapters as they may affect the overall viewing session and watch time and all of that good stuff. So that's my question. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it because I want to know if I should implement chapters in my videos or if I shouldn't.
This is such an interesting question. And this is where I think it's so easy for creators to kind of get, every single creator does it. Every creator does it, where we tend to fall into this mindset of like, I've got to play YouTube just right to get it to do what I want it to do, you know? And YouTube
They've
is
had
not
too many bad dating relationships.
Yeah.
I gotta manipulate this to get what I want or something.
Yeah. And I get it because it's like we're just trying to understand how this platform works. But I think we go too far into that mentality sometimes and forget about all this platform is, all any social media platform is, particularly, is just responding to how people respond to it for the most part, and especially YouTube. And so whatever is going to serve the viewer the best is what we need to do. And so a lot of, yes, extending the viewing session time and keeping viewers on the platform is important to YouTube. However, if people putting chapters in their content makes that content more satisfying to the viewer and thus keeps them on the platform longer and keeps them using YouTube more often, then YouTube is going to favor that. YouTube doesn't think short term about how we serve viewers. They think much more long term. They play the long game, and it's not just about how can we get an hour of watch time from somebody every single time they get on the platform, but they want their platform to be the place that people come back to again and again and again and again and again. And if chapters are a part of that, if chapters are serving viewers better because of that, then, and resulting in that, I guess is what I'm trying to say, then that's what YouTube wants. So that's what we need to keep in mind is don't get too caught up in like one principle of YouTube, like extending the viewing session time, because at the end of the day, it's whatever serves the human and whatever the human likes the most. So
serve the humans. Yeah. It's really this kind of feels like it goes against the first question about, well, I'm supposed to can I make 2-minute videos? Yes, you can make 2-minute videos. Well, how about 10-minute videos? Well, how about hour-long videos? Because like YouTube's giving us more and more tools to make longer content more digestible, like video chapters. So you can be watching like, okay, I get this point, go to the next point. Like, oh, this part's not relevant to me. But what I have found is actually, I think, when I it's really hard for me just to enjoy YouTube or television or any media anymore. I've always got to analyze it now and study like what's my reaction? Why do I want to skip this video? Like what's not holding, I gotta anyway. So when I notice in my behavior is that when there's a longer video with chapters on it, it tends to hold my attention better because I'll be like, oh, there's only 2 more, like, it looks like there's only a couple more seconds of this. When I feel like I would abandon it, I'd be like, oh no, there's only a couple more seconds, or looks like this one's almost over and this next point looks really interesting. I'll just hold on for that. Or I'll skip ahead to like, no, this is the part I would have abandoned the video in the beginning, but I'm like, oh no, this 5 minutes in is where he talks about it, or 12 minutes in. And so I can skip right. So I think it's actually done more to hold my attention and prevent me from abandoning videos that I otherwise would have been like, I don't know if I'm going to get it here or not.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And leave. So
And
And I skip ahead and be like, that looks good. That looked good. That okay. Like I did this with a new the Panasonic GH6 camera came out. I'm a Panasonic Micro Four Thirds guy, and so this new one came out. This video came out. It was like 27 minutes long. I didn't know but I skimmed all the chapters, and it was kind of like his opportunity to give me more hooks, more like good enticing titles. And I'm like, I want to know that. I want to know that. I want to know. Okay, yeah, I want to know everything that's coming up in this video. So I went back and I watched the full 20 minutes because I felt more confident this video was going to deliver. So it was 22 minutes long. So anyway, I think I don't think it just ends viewing sessions, but or even watch time on the video. I think it could actually, for me, I think it's having a positive impact.
I hadn't even thought about that until you said it, because as you were talking, I was thinking about all of the times that there's a creator that I watch where she does long episodes. It'll be like 30 minutes to an hour, sometimes over an hour. And how many times I've come back, and because she does chapters, I've been able to come back to her content and resume where I was watching. You know, if I lost my spot, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I remember that part of the story and that part and that. Okay, I haven't heard that part yet. And then I'll click on that chapter. So it's actually caused me to come back to her content. Do you know how strong of a signal that is to YouTube?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know?
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, I think it just makes longer form content more digestible. So are we saying, let's wrap this one up. Are we saying that like, yes, use chapters, and 2, don't worry about the length of your videos?
Yes.
I'll put a caveat on the last one. Worry about the length of your videos if no one's watching to that full length. Look at your audience retention graphs. Yeah, because if you're like, I'm making 20-minute videos because someone told me that was better, and then you look at your watch time and retention, you're like, people only stay for an average of 90 seconds. Well, then it's a skill problem, not like a length of content problem. Although it could be a length of content but it's more about your skill. Just the length is only a problem because your skill isn't up to the place where it needs to be to hold people's attention for longer. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, Delana, you ready for someone to give you some pushback?
Oh yes, I'm excited.
We'll play the question, and then if you don't mind bringing us up, because I did not hear this episode, so if you don't mind, for others of us, including me who haven't heard it, give some context of what's going on around this, and then go ahead and answer the question. So here it is.
Hey, how's it going? In a recent episode that you had on your podcast, 13 Ways to Grow Your YouTube Channel, you talked about how asking for subscribers wasn't useful anymore. But what about YouTube channels that are growing and are not monetized yet? Because it's very explicit with monetization. It's that you have to get a certain number of subscribers. So are you saying that it's no longer valid to worry about subscribers even in that case?
I think that the point behind not asking for subscribers is not to say that subscribers are not important, because sure, you need subscribers to reach certain milestones like that. I mean, once you hit 100,000 subscribers, then you get the play button and stuff like that. You know, it's like certain milestones that you get to reach. But what I'm saying in that one, I don't remember which episode that was from. That must have been one that I did. But I was just talking about the call to action of asking them to subscribe. And I'm just saying that whenever you ask them to subscribe, it's not as effective as creating content that just makes them want to subscribe. Like asking a viewer to subscribe is not going to do anything if the content itself doesn't make me feel connected to you, make me feel like I got a lot out of your video and I want to stick around and I want to watch more of your content. It's the exact same thing as we teach creators to make really, really specific, short and sweet and powerful calls to action at the end of their video for the viewer to go and watch another specific video on their channel. Like we tell them, yes, extending the viewing session time is important to YouTube. It's not the only important thing, as we just discussed, but it is important to YouTube. And a great way to do that is to make a really strong call to action at the end of the video to another specific video on your channel that they should go watch because they watched this current video. And so it's the same thing as like, they could make the most perfect call to action to another video at the end of that video. But if the content itself isn't bingeable and it isn't connecting with the viewer in and of itself, then it doesn't matter. They're not going to go watch another video of yours if they didn't feel like they connected with you or got a lot of value out of your content in any sort of way. And so the same thing stands as like, you can ask viewers to subscribe, just know that that's not the thing that's going to get them to subscribe. You can say it. There's not really anything wrong with it. I would just be strategic on how you say it, space it out throughout the video. There's one creator that I worked with who he did it in very clever ways. Every single time he filmed a video, he would do it in like one time he said, this video is sponsored by the subscribe button. And then he went on this little spiel and he did it in really fun and like quirky ways like that. And you never saw it coming. And so if you can do it in creative ways that kind of make it fun and engaging for the audience and brings attention to it, then that's great. But if you're going to partner it at the end of like, hey, subscribe and like the video, and then also go and watch this other video, then you're going to get very little return on investment in all of those things, because the more things you ask a viewer to do, the less likely they are to do any of them. So if you can just give them one thing at a time, that's better. But yeah, I think I expanded on it enough. I was going to go too far.
No, I think it's good. We stopped asking people, our clients, to ask. We told them to stop asking for people to subscribe years ago. Mm-hmm. And originally people started asking people to subscribe because about 10 years ago, people didn't know what subscribing was. Some people, it was confusing. Some people thought like, subscribe? Why would I have to pay for a subscription to this site? Right. And other people were because back then you were thinking magazine subscriptions, like a lot of people's, it just meant something different. I think we've overcome a lot of that now. Today, people know how to subscribe. They know what it is. And statistically, we did not see any impact on a channel's subscriber growth if they didn't ask for subscribers versus if they begged for subscribers. Mm-hmm. In fact, if they begged for subscribers, it probably did worse. All I usually have to do when I'm talking to a creator, like in a one-on-one consultation or something, and they have a question like this, I'm like, well, how often do you subscribe to a channel because a creator asks you to? And they're like, never. Exactly.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I never have either. But if I end up, to your point, Dylan, if I end up liking the content, feel like I like the creator, feel like, oh, this is really helpful, valuable for me, I'll subscribe even if they don't ask. In fact, actually, if I'm actually honest, I don't even subscribe to most channels anymore because if I just like watching it, YouTube figures it out and just keeps putting them on my homepage for me, and I'll bite and I'll watch again, So I feel like the subscribe button is becoming less and less important. And we know that even from analytics, which is, we don't need to get off into all that either, but to your point, yeah, it's just, you can ask for people to subscribe, but that's not the thing that gets them to subscribe. So you can do it if you want, but I bet if you stopped, you wouldn't see much of a difference.
Yeah.
And if you do see a difference because you stop, then I would also point out that you're likely getting a lot of passive subscribers, people who watched you once and gave you a subscribe because it was like a generous like button, maybe not because they're actually interested. So I would still be, even if you're getting a lot of subscribers from it, I would still but how is your average views per video doing? Yeah. Is that going up? Is that climbing with your subscription? Mm-hmm. And then I think we would also see some data that suggests that, yeah, you can get people to subscribe, but that doesn't mean that they're actually engaged.
Right.
This last one is from someone, for me, I did a podcast episode about everything we've learned from launching and from shutting down 5 paid membership programs over the years. And I talk about all my struggles, all my issues, all my, you hear people say this, but this has not been my experience. It's my experience with it. And I did get a lot of positive feedback from that one. People saying yes, everything I hear is it's all roses and daisies. Is that a saying? I don't think so.
Butterflies and unicorns.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And rainbows. And
rainbows and it's
yeah. And I'm like, that has not been my experience. That's why I keep starting them, because I think it's supposed to happen, but then it doesn't work that way. So anyway, this is his response to that episode.
Hey, it's John Tesh in Los Angeles. I actually just finished watching your video on membership sites. I found it really honest and refreshing. I posted that in the comments, but I've already signed up for Volley. I'm in the middle of a huge membership site, and we do a big radio show and have a big Facebook presence. But you were hitting all the things that I've been through, and I really appreciate you giving that up. And I look forward to it. I'm already a subscriber, video creator, so it's nice to see that pop up in my feed. Congratulations. Nice job.
Thank you. That was just like a good compliment video or voicemail on that video. So I was like, I got to play that one.
That's so cool.
Yeah. He mentioned in there Volley. It was just kind of what I wanted, the main reason I wanted to talk about was sharing this one. You guys know I worked with Volley for the month, took off from video creators to do that. I'm back at video creators, but I'm still an advisor to Volley. We're still using it in our business and loving the impact it's helping us inside of Video Labs scale our coaching program and giving people direct video chat access to each other and to us. And it's just been this like really, really good program that this platform that's really allowed us to serve people better than ever before in a much more human and direct connection type of way. And so what I said in that episode is that I told you guys like, hey, I made a space inside of Volley. It's called Volley for Creators. And I told you guys, if you're interested, click the link in the show notes and you can go join me there on Volley. And I said I was only going to be there for a few weeks, but we were having such a great time with it that it changed my mind, and I'm still there. And so there's a link to that in the show notes as well. If you're trying to figure out like, how do I rally my community together? How do I get them excited about what we're doing? And how do I start interacting with them? And how do I just like really, really make this, like turn this into something that is something that our fans can really come together and I can coach them. We can have these face-to-face communication that's in a way that's much faster than anything we could have done with like text-based community stuff. I invite you to come hang out with me on Volley. And you can, there's a link in the show notes where you can just join that space. So you'll create a quick account and then you'll be right there with me. And right now, I think there's like 300 some other creators in there. So we would love to hang out with you and hear you and see you and have a good time. So if that is you, click that link down there and looking forward to hanging out with you in Volley and hearing how maybe you can use it with your audience, develop around your podcast or around your YouTube channel or as a Patreon tier perk reward that you want to offer, or to better engage people who are going through your online course, or as if you're a coach, you're better interact with one-on-one clients without having to schedule a lot of Zoom meetings, or you want to do your group coaching program in there like we're doing. There's just so many ways, and the engagement's been so much higher than just doing like a text-based type of thing where all you see is like a platform. You only see their icon and their name, and then it's like you got to read it and then you got to type back. This is just like you hear someone talking to you for like a minute or 2 minutes, and you can watch it on double speed like I do, and then it's like 30 seconds to a minute to respond, and boom, it's done. And people love the face-to-face connection. Happens so much faster, I think, because of that on there. Whereas before, it like text, it just takes a while for you kind of get to know people when it's just a text-based thing. So not only does it save us a lot of time, but the engagement is through the roof. We just finished up a session of Video Labs using it, and Ingrid and Luke, two other strategists on our team, they're like, we have never seen this level of engagement with people. 8 weeks later, everyone's still fully engaged. It's been awesome. So anyway, click the link in the show notes. Let's hang out in Volley, and looking forward to seeing you there. Every week, we like to wrap up our podcast with our power tip of the week, something real quick that you can do, an action you can take very practically in your channel to start seeing success. And this week, our tip for you is when you're creating your thumbnails, just don't make it at a big high resolution on your screen. What we recommend doing is going to your homepage on YouTube, taking a screenshot of a video along with the suggested videos down the right column, putting that into your photo editing program, and put your thumbnail inside one of those boxes, whether on the homepage overlay one of the other thumbnails there in the suggested column and look, how does this thumbnail stand out among all the other options there? How does this, like, can I see what's happening even when it's small? And is my eye attracted to this thumbnail versus all of the others? And it can kind of be a good way for you to evaluate, is this a good thumbnail? Is it not? How do we need to tweak it so it stands out even better by just kind of superimposing it on top of a screenshot of YouTube and all the thumbnails so you get that good kind of comparison. So do that. Hope that helps you grow and win. And we will see you guys again next week for another Video Creators Podcast episode. See you guys then.